Or If I Ran the Circus by Dr. Seuss. It says, this book is for my dad, Big Ted of Springfield, the finest man I'll ever know. So his dad must have taken him to a lot of circuses. Because Dr. Seuss has a big imagination. I mean, you know. Alright. It says, in all the whole town, the most wonderful spot is behind Sneelock's store in the big vacant lot. It's just the right spot for my wonderful plans, said young Morris McGurk, if I clean up the cans. Now a fellow like me, said young Morris McGurk, could get rid of this junk with half-hour's work. I could yank up those weeds and chop down the dead tree and haul off those old cars. There are just 2 or 3. And then the whole place would be ready, you see. All ready to put up the tents for my circus. I think I will call it the Circus McGurkus. The Circus McGurkus, the world's greatest show, on the face of the earth or wherever you go. The Circus McGurkus, the cream of the cream. The Circus McGurkus, the circus supreme. The Circus McGurkus, colossal, stupendous, astounding, fantastic, terrific, tremendous. I'll bring in my acrobats, jugglers, and clowns from 1,033 faraway towns to the place that you'll see them in, ladies and gents, right behind Sneelock's store in the great McGurk tents. And I don't suppose old Mr. Sneelock will mind when he suddenly has a big circus behind. After all, Mr. Sneelock is one of my friends. He might even help out doing small odds and ends. Doing little odd jobs, he could be of some aid, such as selling balloons and the pink lemonade. I think 500 gallons will be about right, and then I'll be ready for opening night. What an opening night! What a night, what a sight! I'll hoist up the curtains, the crowds will crowd in, and my Circus McGurkus will promptly begin, with a welcoming toot on my welcoming horn, by my horn-tooting apes from the jungles of Jorn, where the very best horn-tooting apes are all born, cause the very fresh air there is fine for their lungs, and some of those fellows have 2 or 3 tongues. This way! Step right in! This way, ladies and gents! My sideshow starts here in the first of my tents. When you see what goes on, you'll say no other circus is half the great circus the Circus McGurkus is. Here on stage 1 from the ocean of all is a sight most amazing, a walrus named Rolf, who can stand on one whisker, this wonderful Rolf, on the top of 5 balls, 2 for tennis, 3 golf. It's a marvelous trick, if I say so myself. And on stage number 2, here's something quite new. From a country called From comes this drum-tummied snum, who can drum any tune that he might care to hum. Doesn't hurt him a bit, cause his drum tummy's numb. And you'll now meet the Foon, the remarkable Foon, who eats sizzling hot pebbles that fall off the moon. And the reason he likes them red hot, it appears, is he greatly enjoys blowing smoke from his ears. Of course, pebbles like this are quite hard to collect, but Sneelock will manage somehow, I expect. After all, Mr. Sneelock is one of my friends, and I'm sure he'll help out doing small odds and ends. And on stage number 4, see the Willy Walloo, who can throw this long tail as a sort of lasso. With a flip of the hip, with a tail of this kind, he can capture whoever is standing behind. He can capture old Sneelock. I'm sure he won't mind. And now here is a hoodwink, who winks in his wink hood. Without a good wink hood, a hoodwink can't wink good. And folks, let me tell you, there's only one circus with a wink hood and hoodwinks, the Circus McGurkus. The show of all shows. There's no other showman. who shows you a show with a blindfolded bowman. The blindfolded bowman from Rigor Barut, the world's sharpest sharpshooter. Look at him shoot. Through the holes in 4 donuts, 2 hairs on a worm, and the knees of 3 birds without making them squirm. And then on through a crab apple up on the head of Sneelock, who likes to help out, as I've said. And now come to this spot where the spotlight is hot, and you'll see in the spotlight a juggling jot, who can juggle some stuff you might think he could not, such as 22 question marks, which is a lot, also 44 commas, and also 1 dot. That's the kind of Circus McGurkus I've got. But that's just my sideshow. A start, a beginning. This way to the big tent you'll find your head spinning. While ladies and gentlemen, youngsters and oldsters, your heads will quite likely spin right off your shoulders. So hurry, step lively, quick ladies and gents, and get into your seats in my tent of all tents. My parade of parades is about to commence. You'll see Drum Major Sneelock playing his baton, and my organ McGorkin McGurkus come on, with its hot steaming pipes of gold brass-plated tin, snorting all sorts of snorts in a bubbling din. That is super stupendous, stupendous, stupendous. And when I play Dixie, please join in the chorus. Then a fluff muffled truffle will ride on a huffle. And next in the line, a fine flummox will shuffle. The flummox will carry a lurch and a pail, and a fibble will carry the flummox's tail, while on top of the flummox, 3 harp-twanging snark will twang mighty twangs on their 3-snarper harp, while a bolster blows bloops on a 3-nozzled blueser, a noster blows flutes on a 1-nozzled nooser, and then comes a lion who's partly a trout, then more stuff for 45 minutes about. And then, as if there wasn't already enough, right? And then behind them, then while everyone stares, come my to and fro marchers, who march in 5 layers. The fro's march on toes, and the toes march on fro's. Don't know how they do it, but that's how it goes. And now comes an act of enormous. No former performers performed this performance. This stunt is too grippingly, slippingly frightening. Down from the top of my tent like greased lightning, through pots full of lots of big sticklebush trees, slides a man. What a man on his roller skate skis. And he'll steer without fear, and you'll know at a glance that it's Sneelock, the man who takes chance after chance, and he won't even rip a small hole in his pants. And now, here, in this cage, it's a beast most ferocious, who's known far and wide as the spotted atrocious, who growls, howls, and yowls, the most blood-curdling sounds. And each tooth in his mouth weighs at least 60 pounds. And he chews up and eats with the greatest of ease things like carpets and sidewalks and people and trees. But the great Colonel Sneelock is just right, is just the right kind of a man who can tame him. I'm sure he won't mind. Then I'll let Sneelock off for a few minutes rest, while high over your heads you will see the best of the world's finest, fanciest, breezy, trapezing, my Zuma Zoop troop from West Upper Bendisi, who never quite know while they zoop and they zoom, whether which will catch what one, or who will catch whom, or if who will catch which by the what and just where, or just when and just how and which part of the air. Hey, what a circus, my Circus McGurkus. My workers love work. They say, work us, please work us. We'll work and we'll work up so many surprises you'd never see half if you had 40 eyes. And now, again, Sneelock. Brave Sneelock is back. risking life on my patented life-risking track, while the speedsters I call my colliding collusions race round in swift cars called abrasion contusions. And Sneelock just lies there, not one bit excited. I know he won't mind, he'll be simply delighted. And here in a contest of brute strength and muscle, Kid Sneelock, my champ of all champs, will now tussle and wrestle a beast called the Grizzly Ghastly and slap him around. Then he'll slam him down fastly and pin both his shoulders top flat to the mat. Kid Sneelock will love it, I'm sure about that. And while that goes on there, look at this going here. Have you heard of my herd of through horns jumping deer? Every deer jumps through horns of another pell-mell, while his horns are jumped through at the same time as well. But a deer whose horns also are being jumped through by another who's having his horns jumped through too, which I'm sure Trainer Sneelock can train them to do. Then the whole tent will ring with hoorays and wild shouts when I wheel in my wells and they turn on their spouts. First, my well number 1, with an aim that aims true, spouts a spout that spouts Sneelock to well number 2. And then well number 2 spouts his spout like a gun, and that spout spouts old Sneelock right back to well 1. And then forwards and backwards on spout after spout, my great spout rider Sneelock gets spouted about, just as long as the water they're spouting holds out. Then my tournament knights, noble apes without beards, Sir Hector, Sir Vector, Sir Bops, and Sir Beards, Sir Hawkins, Sir Dawkins, Sir Jocks, and Sir Jeers, clatter into the tent, and while everyone cheers, stage a roustabout joust with their boxing glove spears. And while all this wild ruckusing goes on below, at the top of the tent, look, the star of my show, great daredevil Sneelock, the world's bravest type. He comes pulled through the air by 3 Subrian snipe on a dingus contraption attached to his pipe. And while people below are turning chalk white and all biting their fingernails off in their fright, great Sneelock soars up to a terrible height. Then he shakes himself loose and starts down in a dive, such as no man on earth could come out of alive. But he smiles as he falls, and no fear does he feel, his nerves like iron, his muscles like steel. And he plunges down, down, with his hair still combed neat, 4,692 feet. That's pretty high. Then he'll land in a fishbowl. He'll manage just fine. Don't ask him how he'll manage. That's his job, not mine. Why, he'll be a hero. Of course, he won't mind when he finds that he has a big circus behind.